The word subsidence can fill many of us with dread. This, however, does not need to be the case when we understand what it is and how it can be prevented.
We've put together some advice on how to prevent subsidence and what to do if you spot signs of it in your home. Damage related to subsidence can be severe and costly to monitor and repair, which makes it a scenario homeowners and insurers alike are understandably wary of.
Well, what causes subsidence? Clay soil can shrink, crack and shift during both hot and wet weather, making the ground unstable and potentially causing foundations to sink. Trees and shrubs can also be a factor, particularly if they're close to your foundations. Some species absorb a lot more water than others, making the soil more unstable. Uneven foundations caused by water can make the property unstable too. Vibrations or excavations, leaking or damaged drains.
So what are the signs you could have subsidence at your property? Firstly, it's important not to jump to the conclusion that your home is subsiding, as not all cracks are a surefire sign. Most are simply caused by the natural movement of the property as it ages. Signs of subsidence include stepped cracks, or cracks which appear to run diagonally and are wider at the top than at the bottom.
Cracks that are thicker than a 10p coin, for instance. Cracks which can be seen both internally and externally. Wallpaper crinkling at the wall's edges or ceiling joints.
Cracks where an extension joins the house. Cracks around the doors and windows sticking where frames have warped. So if you suspect you have a case of subsidence, contact your broker or insurer who can arrange for a structural engineer to visit your property and confirm if this is the case.
If it is subsidence, there may be an extended period of monitoring to determine the cause. In severe cases, the property may need to be structurally reinforced by underpinning, a process which supports the foundations. What can I do to prevent my home from subsiding? Well, some areas of the country are unfortunately at more of an innate risk of subsidence than other areas due to the variations in soil type, but there are plenty of actions you can take to either reduce the risk or catch it early on.
To cut down the risks of subsidence, you can check the condition of the property regularly for any signs of subsidence. Avoid planting trees or shrubs too close to your property or outbuildings. If a mature tree is already positioned too close to your property, seek advice from a surveyor or tree expert about how best to manage it and whether it should be removed.
Regularly prune trees and shrubs to help reduce how much water is absorbed is another factor. Carry out regular maintenance of drains and pipes. You should check for blocked or leaking drains, clear the gutters of leaves and dirt regularly, and check pipes to ensure there's no damaging splits. Well, what can you do if your property has suffered subsidence? Unfortunately, if your home has suffered subsidence, it can be difficult to guarantee that it will not reoccur, and you may find it more challenging to get cover. Most reputable insurers will still provide quotes, but you may find these contain higher excesses or exclusions relating to subsidence. Ensure you retain records of any monitoring that you have done or surveys which have taken place that explain the suspected cause of the movement and any remedial action which was taken. The more information you can provide when requesting a quote, the better, as it will allow insurers to consider your case in more detail.
Most importantly, remember you're in good hands. Our knowledgeable client account handlers are available if you have any worries or concerns about subsidence and will advise accordingly.
So what are Lumley's top tips for subsidence? Well, firstly, routinely check your property for large diagonal cracks, both inside and outside. Check floors. Are they bending? Are the doors starting to jam? Specifically check areas where a new extension joins the original house. Try to avoid planting trees within 10 meters of the main building. Cut back existing trees. Check guttering, pipework and drainage to make sure they are all working correctly and replace any that need work.